Good evening from the Grafton ghost town in Utah, another new state on the road trip. So we're like right outside of Zion National Park and I saw a ghost town, so obviously I had to come right to it. So let's explore. Not only do I love exploring ghost towns, but I was so happy this place isn't owned by someone who would consider this trespassing. It's owned by the Grafton Heritage Partnership, who want to preserve the land and the place's history, making it free for us to explore. Hey guys, if there was a for sale sign, I'd move in tomorrow. You know, it's like a nicer storage unit to what I already have. I say that upon first arrival, but after learning some history, I can see why this town is abandoned. In 1859, 5 families were led just south of Zion National Park to the Grafton's first site on the Virgin River. It was considered a great place for cotton production at the time, but they switched over to more food crops as time went on and demand grew. But in 1862, the entire town was washed away when the river flooded for over a week, so they decided to move 1 mile upstream to this spot. The town was growing pretty fast at first, and by 1864, 28 families had moved into the town, each farming about a half an acre of land. But problems from the river were still relevant. Flooding still happened from time to time, and with the amount of silt in this particular part of the river, the residents were having to dredge it weekly so it didn't clog. In 1866, when the Black Hawk War broke out, most of the town left out of fear of attack. It's really interesting to me learning about the rise and fall of these communities because it's not something I ever really went through. Exploring towns like this gives me a perspective into a life I may have never known. Oh. Can't really see much, guys. Sorry, but it's a room. It's a basement for sure. After checking out the remaining residential buildings, I headed over to what kind of looked like a barn area. Everything around me was so beautiful, it was like I was in a Wild West movie, which is funny because at one point, the property was bought by a director from one of the last 3 residents to use primarily as a filming location. It does kind of look like a scene out of every single Wild West movie I've ever watched. And I can't get over how Zion looks as the backdrop. It was the best weather to adventure into. Upon exploring, this building was just filled with lumber. I wonder why it's all still sitting here, or if it was cut up more recently. I love how exploring makes your mind think. This is what you're gonna play? I mean, it's fitting. You know, there are quite a few other people here, but we have successfully avoided them the entire time. Let's hope we can keep doing that. In 1886, the residents of Grafton built a 2-story Adobe schoolhouse, which was also used as a church and a community center where events and meetings were held. It's currently the most photographed building in this town, but to be honest, I think the other ones were a little cooler looking. By 1890, only 4 families still lived there. More families left when Grafton was hit by another devastating flood in 1909. The last classes were taught in the school building during the 1918-1919 school year, which is mainly due to there only being 9 enrollments for the entire year. The following year, students were transferred to the school at Rockville because they couldn't stay open. Everyone wanted to live in a more accessible location on the other side of the river. In 1921, the town's Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints shut down and the last residents left in 1944. After knowing the history, I guess it's not the best idea to move in anytime soon, but it was still incredible to check out, learn about, and film. guys, well that was super cute. I mean, if you're in the Zion area and don't want to spend money on Zion, just come here and explore for like an hour or so. It's beautiful. You're surrounded by this amazing landscape and there's a lot of history to learn. Thank you for joining us on this adventure and we will catch y'all on the next one.